All right. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Good evening. I actually wanted to just hop on and make a quick video. I've been hearing from you guys this week, which has been pretty awesome. We are actually on spring break, so I've had a little bit more time to kind of get organized. But there's a topic that I want to hit you guys with tonight, and this is kind of a big one. I have seen several posts how people start out really, really great, and then the momentum starts to slow down, and it's not always the number of sales that you're getting. For some of you guys, you're kind of getting lost in, I have to do packaging, marketing. I'm still looking for the perfect client. I'm trying to design and define myself as a brand or a label, and you are absolutely getting caught up. Some of you guys are not taking days off. You're not walking away from your craft and giving yourself time to breathe. Guys, we have all done this. It's something that you will continue to struggle with quite a bit. It's the difference between the life-work balance. And it's really different when that life-work balance is all meshed together and it starts to occur inside of your home. There are nights when I will start a project and I go to lay down at night and my mind is just, it's rolling. It won't stop because there's so many ideas coming out. And I had to really break away and start listening to individuals with larger companies. You know, what do they do to turn their mind off? What do they do to be present in the moment? For example, I've had a couple of people who January 2021 was their original launch date. And I'm glad to say they stuck to their launch date. They actually pushed their product out there. They were extremely proud of it, and they had a really good return on their investment so far. February was a pretty good month for them, but now they're starting to notice a decline. I'm going to tell everybody who is selling any type of product right now. If you speak to any small business beyond the pandemic, beyond anything that's going on, January, February, and March will sometimes be your slowest months. Now, January is a little different. We're riding off of the holidays. You've still got orders coming in and things to fulfill. But by February and March, it starts to slow down. And for some of you guys, your Etsy shop is nothing. Your website traffic has gone down to zero. Your retail space is barely moving anything. And when you post on Facebook, you aren't getting likes. You aren't getting anything. Instagram has gone quiet. TikTok has gone quiet. And guess what? In retail, that's normal. Between now and Easter, or for some of us now and Mother's Day, this is called your workhorse time. This is when you tweak your label. You take a look at your fragrance options and you make sure, hey, this is going to be my spring launch. This is my spring line. This is when you guys go in, and if you are like me, you're going to have to do the dreaded computer sit downs. Guys, the number one thing I don't enjoy doing, and I'm going to be honest, I cannot stand having to update my website. Taking product photos for people who love photography, oh, I so love you. But right now on this budget, it's me and this overpriced iPhone. We have the photo box, we have lighting, and you have to do product photos. And that's what you guys are looking for. And so I'm taking this moment and to have to do individual product photos to make sure your descriptions are good. This is when you can use that time to really build yourself. The other thing I want to make sure that everyone is keeping in mind is you're taking a step back and trying to define what type of entrepreneur are you. That's a big one. I've seen people who you start off and you know your goal, you know your mission statement, like you are embodied with so much pride, but it's hard to communicate that to other people. And that's okay. As you are in business, the longer you're in business, the more likely you are to start defining who you are and what you represent. If you watch me long enough, you're going to notice that I often go from craft to craft. So pouring candles is not the only thing that I do. So if you're commenting right now and you guys who are logging in, let me know what other crafts you do as well. For multi-crafters, this is also the time where you guys will roll in and you start another craft because you need your mind to focus and rotate on something different. Guys, it will make your candle business totally different. You got to walk away from the fragrance oils. You will lose your sense of smell because you're always around it. You got to walk away from searching for jars and fonts, and it's fun, but having a grounded spot of saying, I'm going to take a few days off is going to be a big one. Now, how can I ensure that April, May, and June are going to be those months I'm most prepared for? For all of my candle makers who are off the ground, here's a question for you. Have you decided what shipping is going to look like? Y'all, shipping prices, I don't care if you were pirate shipping, hippo shipping, baby shipping. Shipping is expensive. But your client knows when they are online, they're going to pay shipping. So here's the question for you. How do you better protect your product to ensure it's going to reach every customer in pristine condition? So you can work on your packaging on that end. Here's another one. If I had no idea about your brand, how would I find your website? How can I improve my funnels? What YouTube channels can I watch to get some kind of insight on ways to direct more traffic toward me? The other thing some of you want to look at is, the spray room is a good one. Creating new products based on what you already have. If you are keeping up, you guys know I do car fresheners. I do aroma bead fresheners. The wickless candles is another thing a lot of people are doing. I'm looking at dessert candles. I'm even thinking about making embeds because there are so many people who love to use embeds but hate to make them. Hey, I'm all about it. It's taking that same product and it allows me to further take the time to, create a new product and have something out there. Here's another thing. How many of you guys record yourself working? If you are under the age of 30, 32, or if the majority of your clients are in that 25 and under group, 30 and under group, you really, really want to invest in creating the best little TikTok videos you can find. Y'all, they love to watch it. The wax melting, it is a ASMR kind of moment for a lot of people. So are you recording yourself? Are you blogging just even for yourself? So for a lot of people, it's starting to have the dialogue back and forth, and you're going to talk to yourself more than you talk to anybody else. If you are just starting out, for those who are thinking, I want to pour my first candle, the biggest thing you are going to hear across the board is research, research, research. Well, I'm here to tell you, sometimes you have to break that down a little bit further. Because when I started telling me the research was nice, y'all, Google came to mind. I couldn't figure out if Google was where I needed to be or where I didn't need to be, or if I was even going further enough down the search list to really make it to the information that was needed. There are tons of candle suppliers. So I'm going to recommend this. If you have not Googled the list, or in a lot of the candle groups, in the file or announcement section at the very top, you know those buttons we scroll by on Facebook that nobody looks at? Most of those groups have included files or lists. And I noticed, and I will post it when I'm able to run back across it, there's a list of candle suppliers broken down by state. And that is awesome. I'm going to highly recommend that you just visit their websites. Notice I said visit the website, not make a purchase, y'all. You cannot buy from everybody that you know because you're going to end up with so much inventory that you do not need. So if you are brand new, reading through those websites, looking at their descriptions, will be really, really helpful. Some of them will offer kits, and it just depends on what is coming in the kit. If you're not ready to purchase a kit, go through, make a list of what's included, and that will help you as well figure out what do I need in order to start. At the end of the day, you have to preserve yourself. As an entrepreneur, the number one thing that you're selling is actually a small piece of yourself. So when it comes to it, if you're too tired, don't pour. Don't start this new, I have wicked 18 jars. I wicked 25 jars, and I'm going to pour all of them tonight. Guys, it will end up being the crappiest candles you have ever created. You will have sinkholes and cracks to the end of earth because you are putting that energy out there. So how are you slowing down? How often do you make yourself stop and take stock of how much you've done? How many of you guys have a calendar on the wall, have a little sheet, a mirror, somewhere for inspiration? Because you need to make tiny goals. I get the feeling when I'm reading through some of the comments that most of us have forgotten that short-term goals are important. We're just like kids. We need that you can do this kind of encouragement rolling. And if you're not setting down those small goals, that big goal will get away from you. I'm going to use myself as a perfect example. The number one thing that I've noticed is over the last 2.5 weeks, my retail space has continued to make money, but it's not having the purchases that I've seen before. So instead of me going in and saying, I've got to completely switch this up today, I did one of those things I don't like to do. I went to the store and number one, I rearranged my space. So, hey, These candles have been in this position. I'm going to first figure out, is everything eye level? Small things. When I first walk up to the area, what catches my eye first? Where do I want the customer's eye to go? Because you're training your customer on how you want them to be. Do all of your emails, do all of your posts include either a hashtag or your email address? When you're talking to clients, do they know how to get in touch with you? I told a client today, I may not offer 2-day shipping because I cannot be Amazon. But what I can do is offer you the level of customer service that you expect when you go to those establishments that come to mind. When I say my pleasure, you guys know exactly what restaurant I'm talking about. When I lean out and I have that nice apron on and I hand you coffee and say, have a good day, you guys know exactly which establishment I'm referring to, because that customer service is what you're always building, but it's that constant message. How many of us, honestly, since we are packaging, we're doing everything else, whenever you visit a location and you have your candle in hand and you're going to meet a manager or a boutique owner, do you have a shirt that has your name on it? I want to make sure front and back, you're going to remember who I was when I got there. And do you follow up to those meetings with an email? Do you give them a call a couple of days later? Say, hey, I had a chance to meet you the other day. I bought a candle. I was interested in some vendor space in your boutique, but I definitely want to know if you've had a chance to melt those wax melts or burn that candle. I would love some feedback when you have a chance. It's being honest, because feedback from others who do not know you is often the most valuable feedback that you can get. It's not always about rushing in and changing everything about my line. Today I organized. I added signage, which is something that I always struggle to make. And are you using all the things that you purchased? Some of you guys bought wicks last week. You haven't tested those wicks yet. Some of you still have brand new vessels that are in the box that have not been touched. Some of you guys are putting out using a new fragrance oil. Why? You've got to make that move. And now is going to be the time. So if you're researching, take notes, write down what you need, but then step back and take time. Take a day off or so, because that's going to help you get re-energized and refreshed. You're talking to the candle girl who is about to head to the garage, because I've got to prep some tumblers. That's the other thing that I do to get my mind really going in different directions. If I saw, for example, some of us are working on labels, print those samples out, leave them on the table and walk away for a couple of hours. Go play a game with the kids. You know, it's hop on Xbox, watch some anime, y'all. I do whatever is a mindless activity. Sometimes I will sweep or clean an area and come back. You'll be amazed at the clarity that you receive. Don't hesitate to walk away for a little while, because I promise you, the CEOs that you are looking up to, they're not at work every day either. If you have not had a chance, for all of those who are extremely brand new to candle making, if you are looking for an avenue to be able to find information to gather up, I will link everything that I'm discussing in the description box. Be sure to check it out. If you guys have a website, feel free to drop your website in the comments. I love to go through and look, and I'm in a shopping mode. I am one of those candle people. I still purchase candles from other people. I just do. And a lot of times, honestly, I'm going to base it on the fragrance you're pushing out. Sometimes it is the packaging that catches my attention, but I also like to help other makers. If you have not joined a physical community where I can hop on Zoom, FaceTime, something with someone else who is an entrepreneur, I'm going to encourage you to do that. I'm going to really push you guys not to link up with another candle maker, but find someone who's in a different industry. I have a friend, for example, that does t-shirts. I have one that sells CBD products. I have another one that does crystals, and whatever crystals do, I have no idea, but that is her thing. I have, you know, I'm always trying to find entrepreneurs who are doing something different. And when you sit down and you guys powwow, you will figure out pretty quickly that business has a common thread going straight through it. You guys can do this. This is not the time for you to quit. This is not the time for you to slow down. But I do want you to pay attention to what's needed. Last but not least, and thank you guys for dropping in your website. So if you have not dropped in your website, please continue to do the same. If you have not sat down and organized yourself enough and you feel like your business is kind of official but not, here's something I'm going to challenge you to do. If you haven't filed your taxes yet, when you go in and talk to your tax professional, I want you to ask them, what does it take for me to be able to file my business taxes and to maximize my return? If nothing else will kick you in the butt, y'all, that one will, because the list is long. My financial planner hit me and I'm thinking, oh, you know, 4 or 5 things, maybe some inventory. No, ma'am, you better preach, because she sent me a list that is like 14 items long. And those who know me know half of that list I've got to go search for. So it's one of those reasons that I most definitely have to be improving at a regular rate. If you guys have a question, let me know. Last week I hopped on like a Saturday morning, but you know, I got to be all official this Saturday. But if you are pouring on Friday night, look for me. I plan on doing a lunch talk probably on Thursday, but I'll hop on Friday evening and we can all pour together. I would love to hear from some of you guys. I've even thought about doing a Zoom, so we can definitely kick it up. But let me know what you guys want to hear. Let me know if you have any questions. And hey, if you got tips for me, y'all better share. Y'all know how this goes. You guys enjoy your evening, and I will see you later. Bye.